So today, we want to talk about what goes on the inside that'll help with the invites and that'll help with the close, okay? So here we go. Where is my slides? All right, great. So, there are primarily 3 steps that we are already very, very familiar with, right? First, we know that we invite people to an event or a showcase or a Perfect 7, whatever that is. We invite and then they attend the showcase and then they purchase and sign up. This is like big picture, right? We look at it, we go like, wow, so senang, 3 easy steps, right? But yesterday night, I talked a little bit about contact lists, and I also spoke a little bit about, the value of enrolling. So whenever we look at this business, what is the big picture that we are keeping at the back of our mind? I'll tell you what it is, right? You're actually enrolling someone into your vision or into your goals or into your hope or your higher purpose. This is like driving on federal highway, right? There's 3 lanes, right? And sometimes you need to change lanes. Well, that's great. If you're a person who's on the driver's seat and you are changing lanes, that's great. But sometimes you're trying to get your friend or your prospect to come along with you onto a faster federal highway lane. I know there's other highways, but there's Kesas and a bunch of other stuff. But sometimes you want to get your friend to come onto this highway with you, right? And how do you do that? You would enroll them. This whole business is about enrolling someone into your vision, your goals, your hope, or your higher purpose. Now, let's sit back here for a moment, okay? When we say enrolling someone into your vision, goals, higher purpose, I know it might sound like nothing to you now, but I just want to remind us, I just want you guys to sit back and think for a moment how important it is to enroll someone into your vision. You know why? Just in the last 5 years, last century, before year 2000, the biggest thing that happened for humanity was that human beings landed on the moon. Okay? Plus we climbed Mount Everest. These 2 big things, right? Aside from industrialization. Now, this century, just a few years ago, we are building rockets and saying that we are going to live on Mars. Okay, we have never set foot on Mars, and yet somebody has enrolled us into their vision or their goals or their higher purpose. And guess what? It's getting funded. Billions and billions of dollars is getting funded into somebody's vision of a better world or a better life. Okay, so this is what we mean when we say enrolling someone into your higher vision, your higher purpose. Now, your higher vision and your higher purpose and your higher goals, right? And in the case of 3, for us, it might be a better financial state. It might be a better situation for the family. It might just be the ability to have choices. It might just be that, you want to go out there and impact more people. Maybe, like me, you want to have extra money that you can put aside for stray dogs or stray animals or, something like that, right? Whatever that case might be. So you need to enroll someone into the higher purpose of where you are going, okay? Now, there are 3 main steps, only 3. And today I want to focus a lot on the peak interest and the invite, okay? Because a good peak interest and a good invite, as you would know, creates an easy attendance to showcase, followed by a reasonably easy purchase, okay? So in the peak interest and invite, first and foremost, please have a contact list, right? And so yesterday we covered the warm list, the mediocre warm list, and pretty much a very cold list, right? And most of the time, people look at their list and they go like, well, I've run out of the list. What's next? And then you get another 20 people and they, well, I've run out of another list. Well, what's next, right? But here's the thing. You can run out of contact lists and still have new contacts. But that's not important. Really, the energy that you put into your contact list in every one single conversation is what is really most important. So if you're going to go through your contact list, like on day 1 of your business, you were excited, you went to talk to someone, and you didn't put any effort into learning some new words, learning some new skills, learning some new questions, and you didn't make any adjustments along that 200 name list that you had, or 300 or 500, then your results are not going to change. Okay, So it doesn't matter how big your name list is. You've got to make a slight change. Now, what do you change, right? What do you change, right? What do you change when you actually do this aspect of pick interest and invite? First, obviously, I think one of the key things is people don't like to talk. Personally, I'm a little bit more of a visual person, so I love the texting bits, right? But you know what? Habitually, reconnect with people, make it a point to speak to them. Okay, so that's rule number one. So if you're a person who's like me, who just loves texting people, I think a skill to learn is pick up the phone and talk to some people, even for a short while, right? So I challenged myself during this project 100. I have to put myself through challenges just so I'll do things as well, right? So I put myself through some challenges and I picked up the phone and I spoke to some people that I haven't spoken to, I think, 5, 6, 7 years, right? So I said, hey, I used the text and then I said, hey, can I give you a call? And I did. I spoke to them briefly. And, I think that was a lot better, right? If I had texted, I know they wouldn't reply. So by speaking with them, that caused a reply. And I was able to send them some information about the Project 100 or the Blitz, yeah? So speak to them. So if you're like me and refuse to speak to people, well, one thing you can do is speak to them, okay? So your contact list value will increase by your action. A lot of times we want a contact list that's perfect. People who are open, people who are smart, people who got money. We want it all perfect. But no, your contact list value is what you put into it, right? So number one, try to speak to them. Now, when you do speak to them and you kind of get them around the table, they're gonna, it's really a conversation about, hey, how's things with you? What's going on? And then they're gonna ask you, hey, how's things with you? Now, you're going to obviously say, it's been great, but I'm wondering going forward what my life will be like or whatever it is, right? So this is an opportunity for you to put your why. Now, I just want to say this, right? In this recent week, I've had the privilege and the honor to do Perfect 7 with some of you guys, right? And there was this amazing story, and I just want to say this, right? So there's this amazing story because she said to her prospect, I was doing a Perfect 7, so I'm just presenting, right? But this person said to her prospect, my husband said to me, if we did this business 20 years ago, today we will be well-to-do, because right now husband and wife have to live in different countries and they actually have to do things at different times and they have young kids and they can't be together. I mean, like, what a compelling story to be doing 3, right? But here's what additional you can say. If you had a story like that, you had a compelling story, you want to, when people ask, why are you doing 3? Well, that would be your great reason to do 3, right? And then you need to put that conclusion of your story. I'm looking to build this business now. I don't know about you, but if you are looking for possibilities like me, then this is definitely something to look at, right? So you have a why, you need to add the reason or the conclusion to your why, right? Like for me, I would say something like, which I do say pretty much, I've done business for so many years, right? And every time that I'm running, my own business, I realize that I go from one customer, one sale, one customer, one sale. Yeah, the last 20 years, I was younger, had a lot of time to build business and a lot of energy. But going forward, the next 20 years, I'm not going to have the same kind of energy. And I worry I won't have the same kind of income. And then my conclusion will be, what about you? Are you sure you're going to be able to sustain your cash flow for the next 20 years? So your why, you cannot leave it in the air. So when you put your why on the table, you've got to bring back that bridge that connects your story and bring them on that bridge. Hey, is your situation the same? Like, do you think about the future? Or, is this the same kind of problem you want to solve? Or is this, is this something that you face? Is this, kind of thing, right? So when you pick interest, you share your story. But when you share your story, you've got to have that little piece here that says, here's, are you in the same situation? Are you looking for something? Right? So this is very key. I hear fantastic, compelling stories. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what, guys, you've got to put your stories out there and let people know why you're doing something. Now, I want to say this right at the bottom in this green box, it says believe in your why. I hear people telling their why and they're sort of 50% believing their own why. You know, you wonder, or you are a little bit unsure. But let me tell you something. You gotta believe in your own why. You gotta sound like you believe in your own why, okay? That's like 100% of the pick interest and invite game. That's 100%. You've gotta believe in what you're saying. 100% believe in it, okay? So, most of you, all of you I've heard have got great why, right? Like why you're doing it, why you're even exploring it. Look, nobody says that you've got to commit to say, oh, I gotta do this for the rest of my life. No, you don't have to. But you just got to say, yeah, I'm looking at this, or where you are, right? Whatever your story is, right? But you've got to believe in what you're saying. People don't respond to information that you give them. People respond to the belief, the confidence, the energetic state that you put on the table. They respond to that, okay? So here's the tip for you. I hope that that's useful. And along the way, when you when you pick interest or invite, I'd always say, ask some questions, right? And I've listed a bunch of a few common questions here. So for those of you who have done some perfect sevens with me, I think you would see that most of the time along the way, I'm asking questions, okay? Asking questions and, trying to kind of get them to come around the table and kind of share their quality. Where are they in life and what are they looking at, right? And what kind of problems are they trying to solve? How's it going? What's the solution? Yeah. And when you ask your friend questions, you've got to stand very steady in your why. Okay. So I think that in the pick interest and invite, in as much that I've worked with, several groups of people, I think the biggest question is that they don't sometimes it sounds like you might not believe in your why. Okay. So if you're getting this message from me, I would say stand right where you are and believe in your own why. Okay. All right. That's really key. So your why can be product, your why can be money, it can be anything. Your why does not have to be forever. Your why can be for now. Your why can even be a trial, right? And that is really a very important piece in the pick interest and invite. People are curious why, if you had a fantastic job, why you'd be looking at 3. People are curious if you have a lot of money, why do you want to do 3, right? And your why will connect it for them. Yeah. So so put it out there. Believe in your own why when you put it out there, and be willing to share the why. Okay. So the first step of pick interest and invite, when you get this piece nicely done, you would be able to maximize anybody that you've got on the contact list, right? And you'd also be able to get more value when you actually bring them to the table. Yeah. So this part is, I think, in my opinion, it helps tremendously with the ratio of closing at the end of the day. Remember, this is pretty much a statistics kind of movement, and don't get too personal with it. It is just what it is. You got to show them, educate them, and see where that goes. Yeah. So the second part, last week we had already covered when people attend the showcase format is designed and it answers 3 questions in the other person's head. Is it real? What's in it for me? Can I do it? Right? So at a showcase, people attend, they hear testimonials. You need to make sure that it's not just about the showcase. The 2 things that I feel that people miss: meet the leaders or meet some leaders in the event, or either before, or you can arrange a WhatsApp call. Even if it's a perfect 7, you can arrange WhatsApp calls and introduce people, right? And then have people see or feel the community, right? So you can always say, oh, you got a question about product and about Parkinson's. Oh my gosh, I got this leader whose mom, let me patch you up with her right now. Okay. So when you do something like that, they'll be like, oh, this is quite real. This is interesting, right? So, remember that you need to take the action that helps people understand these 3 pieces of the showcase. Yeah, these 3 questions that they came to the showcase for. By the time they came to the showcase, they already have these 3 questions. The thing is, most people miss that when you do pick interest and invite, you want to have enough enough meat in your pie, enough content in your pie, so that by the time they attend the showcase, they're actually asking, is it real? What's in it for me? Can I do it? Okay. So the first part is really important. And then of course, I think that the other thing which I'm seeing that I don't know, but I feel is also a point where people miss a few things, is really the purchase and the enroll, right? And and most of the time, not most of the time, or some of the time, I have seen where we are actually waiting for the person to say, okay, I'm ready. No. Nobody says, okay, they're ready, okay? So you gotta move them forward. I mean, like, I remember the first time I was asked to buy anything, right? People actually have to tell me to buy it. Otherwise, I'm not going to go there automatically. Yeah, I'm so ready. I'm going to buy the product. No, right? No, right? And yeah. So in the very beginning, it's okay. It's okay to just tell your friend, hey, you know what? Are you ready to get started? And they go like, I'm not sure. Well, get started now, right? Like, what's holding you up, right? Or somebody might say, I'm still thinking. Well, what are you thinking about? That little bit of a push sometimes is what people need to hear from you, okay? So they need to hear it. We don't want to be pushy, but actually we're not, because they're just like, I think if people never push me a little bit, I wouldn't be here today, okay? I'd still be happily running my, my traditional stuff, right? So for most of us, I think if you ask around the room, all the leaders, you speak to Amy Dunlap, you speak to Samson Lee, you speak to Kim Hui, you speak to Patrick, you speak to Harris, all of them had that moment where somebody sort of just pushed them into the swimming pool, okay? And they're like hovering, shall I not kind of thing. And then somebody sort of just pushed them into the swimming pool. Look at where they are now. Patrick, when I first knew him, had 2 young boys. Now, these young boys are no longer that young. I think they're university already or something. That was like 10 odd years ago when I first met him, right? But their lives have changed so much because daddy has got plenty of money to, let them do whatever they want. So it's okay to say, you know what? Let's get started. Do this right now. What's holding up, right? And then they go like, oh, why are you pushing me? Because it's a good product. Oh my gosh, or it's a great opportunity, something like that. Of course, I'm a bit exaggerated here because I'm doing a presentation for you guys, but that confidence needs to shine through. So this is the part where if you believe in your why, it will show up when you are enrolling. If you don't believe in your why, likewise, you will not put a little bit of pressure to say, try it or buy it or do something about it, okay? So it shows up, right? So that's when people are going to sense, whoa, this is great. She's sure of what she's doing. She wants me to be a part of this. And yeah, this is interesting, okay? So on the purchase side, this column number 3, I've added some questions for you, and that's a lead on to the post showcase conversation. Okay, so the post showcase conversation, you'd be like, what's best? What did you enjoy about that? What's your favorite thing? What excites you? What pack do you? It's not what do you think of it. Okay, don't ask what do you think of it. It's too big a question, right? So go with something a bit more specific. Then when they kind of answer, the green box at the bottom just tell you next steps, right? You can say these things and move people down the road next steps. Let me show you. Here's how you can do it. This is what it's all about, right? Kind of thing. So I've realized a few questions, like people might ask, oh, what's in the package? When people say what's in the package, do not pull out some separate, no. Take them through the enrollment page. This is a great opportunity to take them through the enrollment page because package contents are on the website registration or sign up page. So if you're going to pull out a separate PDF and say, oh yeah, in the package, I give you this PDF lah, or I give you the slides lah, then you have missed that opportunity to show the website. Okay. So when we are at a purchase or a close, you need to be sensitive and go like, which countries are, oh, let me show you, because the website already got which countries. It's got the package information. It's got all the details, right? So when people say, oh, what is in the package? Great excuse to show the website. Which countries are they shipping? Can you remind me again? show them the website. So that's really, you know, what I call door openers, right? It gives you an opportunity to take people to the next step. Okay. So this is you know, this would be how I think you know, you want to look at it, right? Don't I would always say this, right? Try not to give a lot of separate documents outside of the conversation. Hold the conversation together. Hold the conversation together. Okay, especially after showcase. Especially after showcase or a perfect 7, hold the conversation together. Don't go around with a lot of documents flying all over the stuff or different things, right? Yes, they might say, oh, I still don't understand this or I don't understand that. So don't try to keep that conversation in one piece, okay? Because by the time they've attended the showcase, you get pretty much a short time to engage them. You have pretty much 24 to 48 hours. Anything pretty much longer than that, you know, that person would have forgotten, they've kind of gone back to their life and this and that, and close is really much harder with as time goes by. Yeah. So I would kind of look at it that way. Okay. So again, back to step number 1, pick interest and invite. This is probably, you know, the doorway you know, to actually create an impact, yeah, in their minds as to why you are doing it. They're curious about you because you're their friend. Why are you doing it? Okay, so really, really important. So now here's the 5 steps, you know, broadly that people could use in the pick interest or the invite component. Send a text message. Do you have a quick minute? Call them. Now when you call them, you know, try to have a short video call, right? This is what we have found. When you actually have a bit of a video call, WhatsApp, FB call, you know, whatever, then it helps. Fix a time to call, right? If you can. You know, and when you're at this part, ask them questions about their life. Ask them about what they're doing, right? Kind of thing, right? So this is when you do not speak, you find out about them. And then here's another thing, right? Do FORM, find out about them. So I put some questions on the right side, right? You know, be curious about them and their life. So family, money, occupation, recreation. I've kind of put some questions there for you, and find out what they're looking for to change. Okay. So this is the part where, you know, the feedback that I got is sometimes people take their friends out and it's like 3 whole hours of talking about grandmother's story. Okay. So you don't want that. You don't want that. You really want to keep it short, right? I know that sometimes people come back to me and say, oh, I feel so bad. I haven't seen my friend for 20 years. And then what now I call them up, I feel so bad about just asking them this or that. You know what? If you haven't spoken with them for 20 years, they haven't spoken to you for 20 years neither. Nothing in common there, okay? So you might as well get to the point, okay? You know, and this happened recently, right? Because it just reminds me. I'm just telling a story because there's this lady I told you, right? 6-7 years, I haven't spoken to her, la-di-da, blah-di-da, you know? And I say, hey, how are you? How's things? How's business? Short answers, one-liner. And then she says, what's up? What's up? This question, what's up, should not be answered with, let's have coffee. No, okay? What's up? Oh my gosh, you know, a lot of things in my life. I've had 2 kids, I've had this, I've that, and you know, I was calling you up because I have a project in hand, depending on which angle that you're coming with them, right? So I'm working with some people and there's something interesting, and you know, I was wondering when would be a good time to talk about it. Don't talk about it immediately. Fix the time to call. Okay, so that's what I did. I fixed the time slightly forward. I didn't want to like straight away when I talked to her first time, like, what's up? Oh, there's this project, and I give her like a whole page of it. No, I'd be like, oh my God, I give her a clue. Like, yeah, you know, 2 kids, 10 kids, whatever it is, and then got married, whatever it is, like, you know, and then you go like, yeah, you know, and a project. And then she goes, what project? You know what? Can't talk to you right now, but I'm just thinking of you after I give you a call, but let's talk again on Thursday or Friday or whatever. So then you lock in a time. That is how you want to try and move this, okay? It is important because then they are waiting to hear from you. This is important, yeah? So I hope that this makes a lot of sense for everyone, okay? So now when you are inviting and picking interest, you know, you need to ask the question, once you know what they want, right? You know, is there a way that you can be, would you be open? Basically, this is the would you be open question, right? So depending on what it is that they want, you need to ask them back. Not everybody who needs money is willing to go out and make money. So if you've spoken to enough people, you would agree probably with me that you think somebody is poor, that they should work harder, that they should, but they don't. They're not interested, right? So you need to ask, right? If there was a way for you to get A, B, C, D, E, more health, whatever it is that they said, would you be open? When you ask this question, be really serious, be willing to evaluate the answer. Don't be too in a rush to assume that just because you ask the question that the answer is going to be okay. No, be willing to evaluate that response. They might say yes, but be willing to re-evaluate that yes. Okay. So on the right side, you will have, I put there are some notes here which Adelina has lovely done for the last 24 hours, right? And it's a lot of Adelina's experience as well, and also myself and her, we've done a fair bit of it. So on the right side, some notes for you, right? Be willing to evaluate the open. People might say, of course, I'm looking for money. You need to ask, for what? Why do you need the money? When do you need the money? How much money do you want? Right? Because a lot of people just are, it's as if lottery, win lottery, I just get money as and when and how. If you're going to give me a winning lottery, I'll take it, right? But you are not looking for people who are looking for a lottery. You're looking for people who are real, serious, willing to participate, do some work, right? So, when people say, yeah, I'm open, you want to test that, right? So on the right side, I've got a few key points that helps you to pin down this conversation. A lot of times we can ask questions, but when we get an answer that is not what we expect, right? And sometimes we are put in a situation where we have to choose whether you have to go with that person or whether you have to make a stand. Whether we are just having to agree with somebody. Oh, economy, like say for example, right? The economy this year doesn't look so good. Why? Why not good? Why is it not good? Economy good, ma? Now you are put in a situation where you need to either agree or disagree with their statement, for example, right? For example, or if they might say, or if you say, you know what, I found a business that actually pays me in US dollars, and that's awesome, isn't it? And then they go like, US dollars? And I've heard this one before. US dollars? Why not renminbi? All the OPEC countries are buying in renminbi, ma. Oh my Lord, kind of thing, right? I don't know whether you guys have had these kind of scenarios, but they come back with a response that forces you to take a stand. Like, for example, you might say, hey, you know what? I'm in a job and I'm looking for a plan B, right? And, the plan B is for my future. And they go like, what? Why you need a plan B? Got retirement, ma? Got KWSP, ma? Why do you need a plan B? No need, ma? So now you are forced to respond to that contradicting belief or thought. So here's where often people give in when they should not. So here's what you do. Make a statement. Make a stand around what you just said, even if it is in contradiction to what they think. Okay? And if they say US dollar no good, you will say, it is good. Full stop. No need to argue one. No need to go down a whole bunch of reports to show that US dollar is good, for example. It is good, simply because our currency has gone down. It is good, right? Or whatever it is that is at a point, right? And just make a statement. You do not have to go further than that. They say something like, huh? And this is a very classic one. Oh, MLM, terrible industry. This is a classic. And everybody will straight away give him, oh yeah lah, it's MLM. Is it e-commerce or MLM? No lah, it's not e-commerce, it's MLM. And then you go like, yeah lah, it's a little bit like MLM. So your energy has just gone down their environment. And this is where you think that, or people think that by agreeing with your friend, you're going to get their response towards you. No. So at this juncture, when you actually have contradicting kind of situations, I always say, make a statement. Be firm about what your thought is, or your principle is, or your value is. Put it on the table, okay? So this is really, really key. It is really, important when it actually comes to the leadership space, or going forward with that person, yeah. And sometimes they just need to hear what you really think. Okay, so give the facts, right? If they say, oh, everybody fails in MLM, for example, you get these kind of comments, right? Oh, it's MLM, it's terrible, nobody can make money one. Then you go like, no, that's not true. Stop right there. Don't have to say anymore. Let them wonder what you're talking about, right? Secondly, of course, give the facts. And the third, of course, use other people's stories. So I just wanted to focus on this make a statement part, because often people give in, yeah? Now, how do you answer objections? When people ask, how do you answer objections? You got to use the feel, felt, found, right? And, feel, felt, found is I know how you feel because I felt that way, but what I found out was. And answering objections using feel, felt, found, right? Like for me, when people say, oh my gosh, this is a completely separate industry from technology. How on earth did you get involved in it? It's all sales oriented. And I would say, I know how you feel. And I never got involved in this industry for the longest time because I felt that I never wanted to do sales. But I found out that things have changed so much, and we're in an internet industry, and it's not. It's all about leadership and teamwork, right? For example, so feel, felt, found. There are many variations of this, but you would use that, yeah. So yeah, there's a few other things that kind of is on this page as well, right? So I just want to go to the next one now. And these are some questions that typically come up. I think that some people still feel very fazed when they actually come to these questions, right? Is it MLM? Just make a statement. It's social e-commerce. Like some people, want to argue with you, right? People who've never done the business, not in the business, they want to argue with you. I tell you, it's a project. It's an entrepreneurial movement. No, it's a business. Been there, done that, okay? And then you just know it's a project. They argue somewhat, no, this is a business, what? No, it's a project, right? So you just make your statement, right? Because, it is just what it is, yeah? So in this business, people look at you and they decide whether you're somebody that they're going to work with and they're going to come with, right? If that person is someone who is open-minded, they are able to listen to you. If they're not open-minded, they will not ever be able to listen to you, right? So that's another thing to consider. So here are two questions that typically I hear is hard to articulate, or some people get very stressed by it. And I just got one this week, 2 weeks, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. And this lady comes up with her husband, by the way. And she says, oh, a lot of people have talked to me about this. And I said no to everybody. It's MLM. I said no to everybody. You see? So I say, well, I don't know about them, but for us, it's an e-commerce platform. Just very much like your Lazada or your Shopee. And she goes like, how is that? See, when I make a statement that she didn't understand, because I understood what she's saying, but she doesn't understand what I'm saying, then she will ask, because this person is logical and intellectual and normal. She goes like, what do you mean by that? So this person has changed from their lane to my lane for a short while. Now, this is important when you actually look at the structure of conversations, okay? So when you actually make a statement, be ready that when they shift lanes, they're going to come to where you are, and then you get an opportunity to explain. If they don't ask, stop. Okay, it's okay, because you've made your statement. It's going to stick in their head, right? So is it legal? Here's some a possible response, yeah? Now, here's the key statement around the psychological structure of this. and Kim Hui says this all the time. When 3 existed, before it existed, 3 did not exist. But the people who are where they are today, it's only because they had the biggest belief in the room. Okay, when you look at the Samsons, you look at the Patricks, right? When Adelina and myself, when it was nothing, right? And we had to believe it was there. And then now it is here, right? So likewise, when you actually go out, right, and you're talking to people, you got to stand in your belief, right? The person with the biggest belief wins, yeah? And so classic tell me more answer, and I'm sharing this classic tell me more answer so that you guys can use it. Relatively new in this business, I want to invite you to blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is where you get a chance to say, oh, go to an event, right? Or go to a perfect 7. Now, a few things on the right side in green box, right? That I think is a bit of clarity. So you want to share versus sell, educate, attract, right? And I always say this, right? You don't need a lot of people in 3. You need a few good ones. It's very, very different. If I had a handphone shop, I need to talk to everybody who's passing my shop because I'm looking for customers all the time. But in this business, you are giving someone an opportunity. And so you're looking for a long-term relationship and a partner who has kind of, the kind of right mindset. So education, and to that lady who was talking about marketing and the MLM and everything else, I said, I can't remember. I said, but basically, it came to a point where we said, look, I'm an educator. I'm not here to sell you anything because I can't get rich no matter how big a pack you buy. That's a fact. You guys need to remember this. No matter how big a pack they buy, $350 ain't going to pay your bills for the month. Let's get right with that. I mean, for most of us, it isn't, okay? So the reality is they need to be reminded. Your friends need to be, I'm not here for your thingy, okay? I'm here to see whether we can walk this path together because there's something bigger in it when we do things together. So that's my belief system. And I sound very convincing because I believe it, right? And so I share with people what I believe. So I hope that this gives you an example of how to take a stand when you are actually faced with contradicting ideas or people coming back in a different way. Stand in what you believe and articulate it. Yeah. So I hope that that's useful. Now, I think that it goes back when you say contact list and you say invites, right? Who do we really look for? And I know that a month or so ago, I've already made a bit of a conversation around this, right? And this came from an interview Kim Hui did some 7-8 years ago. And she did an interview, and the interview questions were, who are we looking for in this business, right? What kind of people, what kind of characteristics, what kind of traits, of people that we are looking for in this business, okay? So I've kind of put it down here for everybody, yeah? Some things about them that you would want to kind of notice, okay? You're kind of looking for people who are willing to put in a bit of work onto something. They're willing, they have a desire to succeed, and they're willing to put their effort into it, yeah? People who are credible and trustworthy, that's really useful. Now, what does credible mean, right? A credible person is really a person who, when they say yes, it means yes. When they say no, it means no. And when they say they're going to do something, they get around to it. Look, you're not going to know right off the bat, but it's going to, it's going to appear, right? And so, if you have been friends with them, if you've known them for a while, generally, yeah? You'd also kind of probably notice the people who have a bit more of an influence. They may have a few friends who listens to them, or they might have a network around them, right? You're looking also for people who are open-minded and who are curious. And in all my life, in working with people, there's two ways. People are not always naturally curious because all of us have got a certain limit around how much we can be curious about. But we're not always naturally curious, okay? But when you have a right conversation, they can be. So coachable, and they're positive, and they're resourceful, right? So what is this business all about? You are sorting people, right? You're looking for people who are open, who are credible, who are trustworthy, and are looking for something more. So you're really going through name lists and sorting people in accordance with where they want to be in life. Yeah. So generally, these are some information around that. Okay. So I'm not going to cover all of this.